Hello, my name is Lumie, and this is a speed paint of my entry of Speedpaint contest that they did recently, and also a little bit of a ranty story time about how everything that could go wrong went wrong while I was painting this. So to begin with, I was a bit of an idiot and I didn't record the sketching because I thought to myself, this is the boring part and it's going to take too long, and now looking at the process it feels kinda empty without the sketch part, and also it didn't take that long. Anyway, let me tell you the story of how my computer died while working on this piece and how it all started because of this drawing. So I started with the sketch, the skin, the hair, everything was going well till it came the turn to paint the jewelry. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden the strokes became way shorter and I had to move my arm instead of just the wrist to make long strokes. The pressure still worked, but the strokes were super short and I was almost painting on the same spot every time I tried to make a line. At first I thought it was the tablet's drivers, so I reinstalled them several times, but it didn't work. Then I decided to reinstall Photoshop and it did work somehow, until it didn't again. I was trying everything I could think of, and now I think it was the drivers, but I didn't know back then. I tried to restore system a couple of times, but it failed and it didn't restore anything. Also, it was taking a lot of time and it was getting really late at night, so I decided to go to sleep and try to fix things the next day. Next day rolls and everything was dead. Photoshop wouldn't open, desktop WhatsApp wouldn't open, CCleaner wouldn't open, Discord had a weird Java error from hell, and my screen recording software would crash on startup. Oh, and the tablet's drivers were messed up as well. I spent all day trying to fix everything. I tried to restore system several times too, and they all failed. I tried to update Windows and it also failed because of some error. Oh, and the best part, my hard drive would randomly disconnect and instantly reconnect all of a sudden. It did happen before sometimes, but not with this frequency. So I called a friend who's good with computers and asked him if he could help me updating Windows, checking the hard drive and some other issues I had. The following day he came to my house, saw the mess my computer has become almost overnight, and couldn't fix none of it. So we decided to format and reinstall Windows to see how it goes. I have two storage units, an SSD with Windows installed and the HDD purely for storage. So we reinstalled Windows, and first of all, Windows was in a different language now and you couldn't change it for some reason. And secondly, the hard drive was going crazy, disconnecting and reconnecting every second. My friend's solution to this? Let's format the HDD as well. I could barely save anything. I miraculously managed to recover the drawing, the recording, the brushes I was using, and nothing else. Everything else was gone. And after all that, the hard drive still disconnected. So now that my PC is completely broken and unusable, I had to take it to a professional because, look, we're trying to fix it on my own, got me. But the story doesn't end there. I called my dad because he knows a technician who's been fixing our tech for ages, and I took my computer to my dad's and he took it to the technician. Since I had more than one issue with the PC, I wrote the technician a note explaining all of the stuff that was wrong and what he needed to look into. Specifically, reinstalling Windows again was the right language this time, make sure it updated, and figuring out why the HDD disconnected and fix the issue, obviously. Full 2 weeks pass, and on the meanwhile, I'm struggling with my slow overheating laptop, barely managing getting anything done. And finally, my dad calls me, and this is what he says to me. Everything is fixed. I'll bring you your computer today. By the way, what's the password? I was in shock, What do you mean, what's the password? You haven't logged into the computer yet? What about the note? Literally the first thing I wrote in the note was the password. How are you supposed to check if the HDD is not disconnecting without logging in? I was furious, but I thought, these people are professionals. Well, it turns out, no, they are not. First thing that happened when I brought my PC home, you guessed it, my HDD disconnected. So this is what I think happened. My dad brought my PC to this dude and either didn't handle him the note and took the freedom to explain the issue inaccurately himself, or the dude was like, a note? Pfft, I'm better than you. I don't need a stupid note. Oh, the hard drive is disconnected? Here, now it's connected. I don't need to check if it works because I know better than you. I mean, you can tell I'm upset and clearly not over it. So for the next 2 days, I tried to look into the HDD problem myself, but this time it didn't reconnect at all, and the PC wasn't even detecting it. So I had to take it somewhere else to get it fixed. Crying in frustration since I saw the deadline approaching and I didn't have my computer still after 2 weeks. I decided to finish the drawing on the laptop, but I had the same stroke issue I had in the first place that turned out to be the tablet drivers resetting for no reason. Also, the laptop was slow, was overheating, and wasn't comfortable to work on overall. And at that point, I was super frustrated. You know, the piece felt a bit empty, so I started to draw some branches and some flowers to fill it in. But when it came the turn to draw the flowers, I was so over the drawing already, I just wanted to get it over with. Oh, and you know what else? The footage I took on the laptop is corrupted. The working area just goes black with almost every click. So that's great. I still included it in the Speedpaint so you can see what I had to go through. At the end of the story, my PC was in reparation for almost a month. And when I got it back, I still had a week left before the deadline. If I only had been a bit more patient, I could have drawn the flowers a lot better, but well, nothing I can do about it now. So this was my ranty story time. I hope you enjoyed it and didn't get too bored listening. And thank you for watching. Bye!